my honor to be here. Thank you to Pastor Jolomi for the invitation. I really do appreciate that I could come and spend a few of my minutes with you, and knowing that each opportunity that we have and every time we come in contact with individuals like yourselves, then we thank God for that opportunity that has been created, because it just doesn't happen, but God allows it to happen. I did not know that I would come at this moment to CBC TV station and share with you my personal journey on how I began my career and up to where I am today. So it is an absolute honor to be here. And I see a few familiar faces. So cheer me up and make me at ease, and let's talk and let's share this moment together. Okay, thank you very much once again. Where am I going to start from? Where am I starting from? From where it started. Okay, a young little girl aspiring to live a life as planned by God, growing up in a home where my mother was a very strong Christian, an SDA, and a Dorcas worker. And so I grew up with firm foundation of being a Christian child. And being a child and the only girl of my mother meant that she had her eye very close at whatever I was doing. And you know, with our parents then, not us parents now, our parents then, when they are talking and you are doing something that they do not approve of, you know that moment that the eye will meet you. And when that eye meets you, you better stop what you are doing and behave. And so it shapes who we are. It shapes who we are at the end of the day. So growing up in a home that is a Christian home, my father was a Catholic and my mother was SDM. And so it's very natural in our society that you will lean more towards your mother's religion, because then they are very religious with everything that they do. And I was one that was then following through her footsteps and just moving with her wherever she was going. So I am a Christian and I'm an Adventist, and we fellowship on Sabbath. Okay, so we are all Christians. We are living our lives to be Christ-like, and that's what is important for each one of us. So thank you so much for having me today. Starting off my career as a life sales representative. So you know, when you have just finished your grade 12 and you are wondering what you're gonna do in life, and at times we celebrate so much to complete your O levels. You don't know that life is starting then. It's actually, you have not attained anything, but we tend to think, oh, sugo, you have completed and you want to start in life. And starting off as a life sales representative was a daunting career, yet I knew exactly what I wanted in my career path. Okay? A lot of us do understand that each time you set your goals, you will want to actually achieve those goals. And so, as a sales representative, I come out of my secondary school and I've applied for some courses. But before I can even do that, 2 years before I completed my grade 12, I lost my father. And my father was a breadwinner. And we knew you might be familiar with what happens when you have lost your father or when you have lost a breadwinner. That comes with a lot of challenges. Yes, that comes with a lot of challenges. And some of the challenges is that the people that you used to see in your home, you don't see them anymore. You don't know where they've gone. And so you sit and wonder, okay, wait a minute, we were a very large family once upon a time. It's not long, everything begins to crumble. And before you know it, you are left with nothing. You had 3 cars, you don't know where they've gone to. Okay? You're walking, you're seeing your mother now has to step up. And so, having had gone through that, then it either builds you or it destroys you. from a family where I have, we were 12 of us. 6 are half brothers and sisters, older, and my mother with the 6 of us, and I'm the only girl and the second born that my mother has. Okay? So now you begin to see a family breaking. And before you realize, my young brothers are disgruntled. And my young brothers, being boys, they rebel. Okay? They want to fight back to get what belongs to them. I thank God that I still remained steadfast. Okay? And it just doesn't happen. It's God's way of doing things. You realize that you must be resilient. Amidst all the things that are happening, you tell yourself, am I going to break? Or I am the one that is going to hold my mother up, and together we come out of this situation that we are in. And so it is one story, having had gone through a lot of trouble, I focused. And in focusing, I learned one thing. You know, a lot of times we say, and growing up you would think the people that talk to themselves when they are walking are mad, or they are there's witchcraft. I was young, I was not old, but I was talking to myself each time I am walking. And you know the talking that I was doing, and that's where I learned that to pray, it doesn't mean you should kneel down to pray to your God. Even as you are walking, you literally are talking to your God. I'm telling him just what I want done. And I am asking if he's going to leave me in a deep where it is right now, or he's going to salvage me and make me a better person. And so I began to talk. So it's not about praying and kneeling, but I learned to talk to my God at every moment that I had. And so happened that then after I completed my grade 12, I had a couple of big brothers that were there with me. And then now it was time to go into university. I wanted to become a computer programmer, but guess what? That's not what I became. Because at that particular moment, we didn't have enough funds to take me to university. All my mother could afford is to take me to NIPA. Okay? And I had people that talked to me and said, look, there's some courses that I've come across now. You may just want to see where you are at. Yes, you wanted to do computer programming, but how about if you look into Chartered Institute of Marketing? I think it's something that you can also do. So I paid attention. I got some papers, some materials. I read about marketing, and I familiarized myself. And we had a chat with my mother, and my mother said, that's what I can afford. At that particular moment, I got in. As though it's not enough, before I could even go in, there was so much trouble around. And at some point, my mother wanted to sell her house to raise enough money for her business. That house didn't sell. And it was time for me to go into school. And I went to my mother and I said, I think we need to sell the house. And my mother said, we cannot sell the house. That's my only source of income right now, other than the business that we are doing. And so I can't sell that because I can't put everything in the business. You see, I tried to do that and it didn't work. I said, let's try again. She refused. But you know, you don't give up. You continue, and I'm continuing to talk to my God. And sometimes I say we experience miracles, but we don't realize that they're miracles. We wait to hear from somebody else how they experience their miracle, and you go like, wow, I have been there before. And in my dream, I had this wonderful dream of my father came in, and he was holding a sword, very bright. The whole room was so bright. And he hands me that sword and he tells me, you are the sword of the family. I want you to get up, go to your mother, and tell your mother you must sell the house and go to school. I go to my mother. By then, I was living with my big brother. Had to go to my mother. I get there, she sees me and she says, "You're back." I said, "Yes, I'm back. What did you dream?" I said, "Did you dream what I dreamt?" She said, "I dreamt of your father." I said, "I dreamt of my father as well. Can we sell that house?" We didn't even go into details to discuss what the dream was all about. Minds just met and we said, "Can we sell the house?" And guess what? 2 days later, that house was sold. And my mother paid for my college fees and my exam fees. So paid in advance up to my diploma level. Wow. And said, if you're gonna fail, then that's the end of you because I don't have any more money to do that for you. So I gave it my best shot. And I got through college. I did my professional certificate in Chartered Institute of Marketing at NIPA. I cleared. I went back for my advanced certificate, which is now has been moved into a diploma. I cleared it, and I told my mother, "That's fine, Mom. I'm going to look for a job, and I will advance my studies from here." And she tells me, "Yes, I think you can do it. I believe in you." And then I move on to get a job. And you know the first job that I found was that of a life sales representative. We have seen people that go around selling life insurance policies. But do you know the trouble? I go back home and I say, "I've got a job." And they ask me, "What job?" I say, "Life sales representative. I'm going to be selling life insurance policies." My mother is very happy and cheering me all the way. And my brothers go like, "What a waste. You study up to a diploma level and what you're coming back to tell us is that you'll be selling pieces of papers and going around door to door." And I say, "Yes, that's what I'm going to do." And do you know why? By then, I had learnt that to climb a tree, you don't start from the top. You have to start from the bottom. And by the time I was getting through with my advanced certificate diploma in Chartered Institute of Marketing, I had done a lot of studies to understand that if I was going to be an executive, whether a marketing director or a marketing manager, I needed to start from selling something as a sales representative in any field, okay? And from there, then I learned to say, actually, as a life sales representative, I am not just selling a piece of paper, I am actually breathing life in that piece of paper. That's a purpose. Understand what the purpose of that job that you have is. What is it doing to the other person? Is it building them? So I give myself a new title that I've come across in the industry. I am a financial advisor. I'm not just a sales representative. I'm a financial advisor because I am helping people to put their financials in order, right? Financial planning, that's what it is. I'm going to sit down with you and help you to say, okay, do you have things in place? What happens if you die? And remember, I'm coming from experiencing death and the bitter truth that it was after my father died that we lost a lot of things. And so we needed to pick up again. And so I am in that particular situation now, helping other adults to know that you don't have to make your children go through a certain path. Why not put your life in order whilst you are alive? Because ultimately, every one of us is going to die, but it's what you do and what you leave behind after that. So I had to put my story in a nice way when I'm talking to the people. And so my job was very interesting. And then, as it is, everything that you do it to the best of your abilities. You will never regret. 6 months into the job, I gave it my best shot. Do whatever you do with your might, right? Gave it my best shot. And before I realized it, 6 months into the job, I found a competition that was running at the organization. I joined into the competition for sales. And at end of year, we're celebrating those that have been successful at selling. And guess what? Out of 12 winners, I am the only female winner. Wow. Okay, so what does it do? It boosts my morale. Yes. I'm telling myself I can be as competitive. I started off, if I tell you that my first commission was a 37 kwacha. 37 kwacha. I got the 37 kwacha, proudly took it to my mother. See what my salary was. Whatever we bought, I gave her. Whatever happened, happened. The second month, I got 87 kwacha. Okay? 87 kwacha. Before I knew it, into the third month, I was at 150 something. Before I knew it, I was getting over 600 kwacha. Okay? And before it was long, I was in the thousands, and now I am very stable at the job. Okay? Now, that story where I am the only lady among the male winners, it provides me a platform to showcase what women can do. It provides me a platform to show that you can be young, but you can still be very focused in understanding exactly where you're going and what you want to achieve. And so I get that job, and I get the award, and the next thing, the people there see me and they say, we want to try you, make you a team leader. A leader that is just going to manage a ladies team only. And I was happy. I got that job. And I became a team leader for a ladies team only. And how we performed extremely well. We were the best team in the country. Best team in the country. 2 years on the job, I'm getting another promotion as area sales manager. Now, I'm very young. I was only about 22, 23 years. And then I'm getting a brand new showroom vehicle. Okay? So I become one of the youngest managers at the organization. It doesn't stop there. I continue to pump. We continue to do well. So I have risen through the ranks to be where I am today, starting off as a sales representative, selling life insurance policies door to door. But do you know what keeps you going? A lot of us have got stories to tell, the different stories that we have. But as we move along the way, my life is in such a way that I know exactly where I want to be, my goals are, and I shape my life in such a way that I look at 3 main objectives in any given year. So at the center of everything that I do, I tell people I am a child of God before I am anything else. I can be a CEO, but I am a child of God. I am a mother, I am a sister, I am a daughter, I am a wife before I am that CEO. So you understand who you are before you can actually go out and shout that I am CEO. So for me, at the center of it all is the spiritual being. This spiritual being must drive who we are. Okay? It must determine what we do at a particular time in life. And so when I'm setting my personal goals, I set them in such a way that there is my church community, there is my family, there is myself. At any given point in time, what is that one key thing that I want to deliver in these 3 spheres? Because you have to touch into your community, you have to influence your family, you have to influence self so that you can rise above all the challenges and set yourself to be where God wants you to be at that particular moment. So my goals are aligned. At any given point in time in a year, I am moving one goal. I'm going to be involved more in church activities. I want to be there, see how I can speak into other people, how I can influence the young people, how I can be in the community to serve the community, give back to community. Those things I do. And also then, in doing that, I am empowering myself and learning more about God, because you want that connection with your God at any given point in time. So I remain aligned. And then in my family cycle, I tell myself again, it's very interesting that as individuals, you must know, and I always ask, who is on your board? who sits on your board, because each individual must have board members. You've got board members, and I want you to draw this scenario. You've got 3 circles: a smaller circle, a second bigger circle outside the smaller, and the third bigger circle outside that second circle. You're asking yourself, you are in the middle of that circle. Which of the 3 circles is your biggest? So 1 is your strategic circle. The second one is your operational circle. Okay?
The outer one is your strategic one.
So you have the strategic inside. You've got, and I won't tell you how you're going to set it. I want you to think. So put the 3 scenarios. So you've got your strategic, you've got your family, and you've got your operational. How do you plot them according to your life? Strategic is the people that are going to help you move from where you are now to where you want to be. Those people where you find they're your sponsors, they're your mentors, people that influence and shape your life. Okay? And these people are found everywhere. It could be from your church, it could be from your workplace, it could be from your family. So now you identify, okay, how big is that cycle of yours? The second circle then, if it's a family, so for family we all know, how much of your time do you spend with your family? Is it every day you're on the phone? You need to identify, so plot that circle, which one is your biggest. Then your operational circle. To get things done, you need to work with a lot of people, right? So then you apply your mind again and see how best you get it done. Now, if I tell you that the higher you go in the rankings, the smaller your family circle becomes. That's me. Because I am not spending a lot of time with the extended family members. It could be my nuclear and my immediate. So that cycle is not bigger than the community, for instance, the operational. So, in my life, the smallest circle that I've seen that has shrunk so much, my family has shrunk because I am not spending a lot of my time with each one of them. Okay? And also, my friends' circle has reduced because then I am not available most of the time. Not to say it's intentional, but because you are moving in a certain direction that is demanding more of your time, and the more you give in, the little time you have, you want to spend it. It's your me time. So you find yourself moving away naturally. But if those around you will label you and say, what? She's now thinking she has it all, so she doesn't want to mingle with us. It's not realizing that as you go through stages in life, these things become to demand of you to be and play in a certain part. So then, my family circle is now my immediate, my siblings, you know, that one there becomes the circle, so it's not as big. Then as you move again, you're operational, because my second biggest is the operational, because now I am working with so many people, and to get things done, my operational circle is big. And that's where some of my family members have moved into, and some of my friends have moved into. They are no longer closest to me in the strategic circle. They have moved into the second layer. They are still very important. They are just in the second layer, because in the second layer, that's where I'm having so many things to deal with. So it's very much aligned to what we're getting out of the day. So that's where you find your kitchen party committees. That's where you find your wedding. They are no longer the number one priority. The secondary. Then that's circle. And the outer one now, the biggest, is your strategic circle. That's where now you're finding your board members as an individual. Who are your board members? I want you to write down names of the people that cheer you every day, names of the people that are going to speak into other people's ears good things about you when you are not there. In your absence, they can whisper a good word and say, we believe in her, we believe in him. Position them in this manner and they will not disappoint you. That's your strategic circle. And so you find that the higher you go and the older you become, your strategic circle must be bigger, because you have important people in that strategic circle. A lot of times we normally find that our place circle when we are young is the biggest, but as you grow older, it's not the biggest. So identify who your board members are. Amongst your board members, you have your board chairman. Appoint a board chairman now. Who is your board chairman? Who is going to stand up and tell you that, no, this is wrong. You don't have to do this. Life demands that you run this path the right way. A person that is going to tell you it's okay for you to think and say it's not okay. A lot of times we are afraid to admit that things are not going the right way. But it is okay to admit that it's not okay. The only time when it's not okay is when it's not okay, but you pretend it's okay. You're going to go down. So who is that board chair that is going to shape you and put you back in line? Put that name down. Okay? Who is your vice board chair? When that one is not there, you still know that that one can stand up to me. They respect me. They don't fear me. They respect me. They're going to stand up and tell me, hey guy, not this. Let's try this. Even when I am at my lowest, they're going to tell me it is fine. Get up and start again. Who is that person? Then who are your board of directors? I will just ask for 7 names around between your board chair and your board of directors. A group of 7 people. Can you identify them and put their names down? After this session, you go back and you advise them that I've put you in my board. When you've identified your goals, run through with your board chair and say, for the rest of this year, the following are the things that I want to achieve. Remember, I told you I only run with 3 goals. I don't do 5 goals. In the 3 goals, even my health is there in my me. You understand me? Exactly. So you're going to identify those 3 goals, and those are the only ones that you go back to say, can you help me achieve the following goals? But however, very strategic that you identify from different angles, because these are people according to what you want to achieve. It's better you identify a person that is in that line of a business that you want to try and pursue. But at the end of the day, you also have others that are very close to you, and you are very clear that they are going to rally behind you at any given point. Even when it fails, it's okay to fail. And do you know why I say it's okay to fail? Because it gives you an opportunity to rewrite your story. Failure is an event and not a person. The moment you realize that it is not me that has failed, it is the events, the series that have not tied up correctly to get me to where I wanted to be at, then you pull back. Get back into your box. They say think outside the box, but I say the opposite. Get back into the box and think how you're going to do it differently. You jump out so that you do it differently. So do not be scared of failure, because you are not a failure. The events did not tie up to give you that result that you wanted. So always remember, when I fail, it's not that I am a failure. It's the events that did not tie up correctly. And each one of us has failed at one point or another. And we continue to fail. But it's what we do that will help us to pick up and start all over again. So then, in my life journey, I have learned that when I fail, I take a step back and I ask myself, it hurts so much to fail, but I ask myself, what can I do differently? What did I do that did not give me the answer that I was looking for? Do not continue to ruminate. A lot of us stay in that box forever. You are just complaining and complaining and complaining. Now remember, you are an individual. The more you complain, the more you dampen your morale, and the more everything else around you seems to be shut. So connect with yourself when you have not achieved your desired results. So we do not say fail, but we say I have not achieved my desired results. I get back and say, how can I learn again? You're going to learn to relearn certain things. You have to know how to position again to start writing your story, because every day you are given a fresh page to write your story. And I say, let it be a story that looking back 3-5 years from now, you are proud to tell, because you had time to take a step back and look at life from a different perspective. So those are some of the things that we do. And again, I look at myself and say, what are some of the things that I do well and I am proud to share? I don't wait for somebody to endorse me. Because if you're going to wait for somebody, if you're doing things to please others, you will never please anybody. And that's why it's important to actually work with your goals. Because you don't have to endorse me. I have to endorse myself, because I am the only one that understands where I want to be at any given point in time. So why must I wait for you to come and tell me you're doing very well? I'm going to pat myself and say, I am doing very well. Yeah? Because I know just what my journey is looking like. I know where I've come from, I know where I am, and I know where I am going. So you've got yourself. So I will not wait for anybody to endorse me and say you're doing well. However, I am going to have people around me who are holding me accountable for what I have said I will deliver. And so I have a friend of mine. We contract at the beginning of the year. Every year we contract. This is what we will do. Fine. Quarterly, we appraise each other. No, you are not where you said you would be. Or yes, you're right on track. Let's move on. Let's stay focused and achieve. So be happy for other people that are achieving before you can achieve. Because that happiness is going to be transferred from them to yourself, and before long, you are in a happy space that allows you to do things beyond your imagination. Because what the mind thinketh, so it does what? Exactly. So you always have to know that I need to be in this space that allows me to blossom. And the other habit that we find ourselves that we fall in quite often, actually, is that we tend to take a lot of blame. Okay, we're too hard on ourselves. Okay? Easy. It's just life. It's just life. It can be so hard, and you think everything has fallen apart. But when you take life the way God intentionally or designed it to be like, thank you, you find that life is so good because you have aligned it to the Creator Himself. Even when things are not the way you think they should be, you understand that it's just for a moment. It's going to get better. And so your mind is not distracted. You continue to look and to focus on your goals. So don't be too hard on yourself. And I love that because it puts me in a space where I have limited time to cry over something, and we are human. So when you're not happy, you're gonna be in this space where you are really thinking through it. But I would tell you that the longest that it can ever take me to come out of that environment when I am in it so deeply is a week's time. Because beyond a week, why would you still be mourning? Will the situation change? So then I begin to think, okay, easy the pain, let's go again. Let's go again and see where we get to. Some of the things that I do. In my career time, I have learned to appreciate others more than I appreciate myself. I work with diverse group of people. And so you need to understand that inclusivity is very important. We all from different backgrounds, raised by different mothers and fathers. Some of them were taught to close the door behind them every time they walk into a room. Some of them grew up where there were no doors. How can I be expecting you to shut that door when you grew up in a home where there was no door? So I need to adjust and ensure that I understand each one of them in a manner that I show it's nothing personal. If I step on your toe, it's business. And feel free to come back to tell me you stepped on my toe, so that I can know that if I do this, he doesn't like it and this is how he is, or this is how she is. So I ask people to give me feedback as much as they can. To be open with me, because I am very open with people. What you see is what you get. You will hear it from me before you hear it from somebody else. So if you're not happy at that particular moment, let's discuss it. And why? The corporate world has no mercy. You give it what it wants or you're out. It's as simple as that. And that's what life is offering us right now. It's competitive, but you have to step up. And to step up, you will step on somebody's toe. Just remember to say, I am so sorry, it was not intentional. Can we talk again? And let's get back into line and move together. That's what I do. And so you hear my daughter tells me, I have a 14-year-old daughter. So she's discovering herself. She would tell me, why do you spend so much time at church on Saturday or Sunday for meeting here, meeting there? Do you get paid? And I tell her, no, I don't get paid. And she says, even the elders don't get paid. I said, nobody gets paid at church. You give back. She says, Ishman, you have different faces, mommy. Here, this one here, that one. How do you make it all round at the end of a day? I say, it's because when you're growing up, you realize that there's more to life beyond me. It's not about me. It's about that person. I am privileged to be where I am, to have what I have. What about the next person? Are they as privileged as you are? As you sit there, ask yourself, how privileged are you? Do you still think you don't have enough? Have you looked beyond you to see what the other has or don't have? And if you have done that, what have you done? Have you gone an extra mile to get them into your circle? Because we have to watch over others, right? And so I have learned in my life, inclusive leadership actually is the way to go. Be it at your home, be it at church, the community at large, or in the corporate world. I take in, it can hurt you, but because you are a leader, you're gonna swallow the bitter pill, come out with a smile, and say, let's sit down and talk about this. And you find, because you're leading in such a manner, people are going to support you. And people speak things that you will be shocked to hear. when you are not there, because they have the confidence in you. You build the confidence in others to help you build your own confidence. And it's not always easy to start, but there's always a starting line. Show up. I tell the millennials, I love you so much, guys. Do you know why? You're not scared to face life as is. These guys are gonna come and tell you, I don't like this job you've given me. I have a degree, I am a postgraduate, why are you giving me a job like this one? And you ask yourself, easy, let's sit down. What do you want to become? Okay? Because you also have to understand that there's experience. So you could have the qualification, but you have the number of years of experience that the other one has. And so you have to think as well, how do I fit into this picture? It is good to be ambitious. And I tell everybody, do not be apologetic about your ambition statement. Don't be apologetic about your ambition statement. Say it as is. Because somebody somewhere will remember that she is a proud girl. She is brave to say what she wants to become. Unapologetically. The millennials say what they want unapologetically. And I always then throw a challenge to the other folks and say, are we able and ready to accept them? And just show them the way they can get into the space that they want. And some of them in life will start up in life or start off with a silver spoon in their mouth, and that's okay, because that's their path. There are others like me who has to go through steps to get to where I want to be. You understand me? That's my story, and I am proud to tell it. So other people start quite early in life. You find by the age of 28, 29, 30, they're already directors. Whilst you're beginning to just identify who you are. For others, it starts early, it ends early. Okay? Others, it starts late, and it carries on for quite some time. I was one of those who knew exactly that at least by the time I'm getting to 40 years, I must be a CEO of a smaller company or something, you know? And I worked so hard. I was very aware that I did not want an early start in life, because if I started early, I'm going to be bored. You can only be a CEO for that small organization or bigger organization for a specific number of years. Thereafter, you start to also look to grow in other lines. So you have to understand how then it spans out as you go in life. So you don't blame anybody. There are those that have an early start to life, and there are those that have a late start to life. Just know who you are of those two groups, and you will not blame it on anyone. Okay, that's what it is. And so as I go on in life again, to be where I am as a CEO of Stanbic Insurance Brokers Zambia, I'm telling myself, I am blessed beyond measure. Okay? Not just because I am CEO, because I am Chilofyango Nyirenda. I have had several opportunities. I've got a lot of platforms that allowed me to meet with people like yourselves. I did not know that I can meet with all of you here. But here we are, sharing tips, sharing a story of a life, hoping that it's going to inspire somebody else. And see that they can start from anywhere, and it is fine. There are those that start from the bottom, there are those that start from the middle, but tell me what, nobody has started from the top. There's always a starting point. So the starting point is different from each one of us. Just understand your life and know where you are at, and your starting point will be clear for you to begin to build the pieces in your life that you think are not brought together. Okay. If you ask me, who is Chilofyango Nyirenda? I am married So a chartered marketer by profession, an insurer by practice. Okay? So I've done my postgraduate diploma and I've done my Masters of Science in Global Consumer Marketing with the University of Liverpool. I have done some innovation and strategy executive program with the University of Oxford. I continue to learn and empower myself. I don't stop. There's so much that you have to offer in life, so you don't stop. And so I am married with 2 children before I am that CEO. And I am a child of God above all. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. I have a question before you open it up. You spoke about having these circles in your life, and you spoke about creating a board of directors. I want to give you an example of what happened. You were giving us an example to say you don't cry over your failures for a long time. My housemate and I were robbed of everything that we thought was valuable to us. And that day I was very broken. I cried almost, I couldn't stop crying.
Oh, shame.
And then I called my dad, Pastor Jake, and then he says to me, why are you crying? Do you want new things? Stop crying. And in that moment I was upset. I was like, why is he telling me? I wanted comfort. Stop it.
Exactly.
You've cried enough. Stop crying. If you want to get new things in life, they're going to come. This is an opportunity. So sometimes we sit and we look at the failures and want to cry forever.
Exactly.
But we should stop that. And you spoke about creating a board of directors. Sometimes you have to create that circle of people that you can go to and will tell you when it's time to say stop it.
Exactly.
It's time to move.
Exactly.
My question is, from everything that you've spoken about, you have shown a level of strategic planning. What are some of your tips when it comes to like planning your day, planning how you work, your work schedules and the like?
Okay, thank you so much. So I am very, which is the right word to use? So I plan my day up to now. I will have my to-do list, okay, where I put everything down and I tick as I go, okay? Anything that I have not done by end of day, I know that it's a spillover into tomorrow. And remember, at this level, there are some meetings that will just appear from nowhere. It's in your calendar. You find that it wasn't there. So on my to-do list, it wasn't there. But you have to learn to adjust. So I adjust, I push it in there, and as much as I can, I'm gonna try and level up things. But of course, some things by end of day, you are just human, you're tired. But learn to prioritize, okay? Learn to prioritize. You can't have a story and tell your boss every time that you did not manage to do it because there was a meeting that came. No. So you will now have to look from the list that I have, which one is of high importance and of immediate need. Prioritize and deliver those. Those that were just your wishful thinking, put them down and start again at another time. And also I have learned to put in extra hours. As much as we say, don't take work home, come a certain point when some work will have to go home. Except you just know that, and you would have already spoken at home with your children, with your spouse to say, look, I have a little bit, I'm gonna go beyond my 5 o'clock because I just want to clear this, and once I finish, I'm gonna come and join you, and I do that. And the other thing that I do, I spend time to social interact. So maybe an hour before I drop everything, I'm just gonna spend it, social interact, and then call it a day. But I don't do work on Saturday or Sunday. Very clear about that.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that talk. I think at the beginning of you talking, you spoke about having an intention of going to study computer programming. And now seeing with how far you've come, looking back, would you, if given an opportunity to choose, would you go for computer programming or go this direction?
No. I live a life of no regrets. Whatever has happened because there's a reason. And so I won't look back and say, I wish I had. At that particular moment, that was the right decision that I made. And I move on with that. Unless I wanted to, but it's already out of my line. So I will just progress and enhance what I already have. So don't regret having done anything, because at that particular moment, it was the right decision that you made.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you, thank you.
Thank you so much for, I had a little thing about the issue where you set goals and then don't finish them. You've just helped me on that one.
Oh.
You just said when it spills over, you can do it the other time. But anyway, my question is about the directors. It's very interesting the way you mentioned that you need to have a board of directors. How do you choose these people?
Okay, thank you so much. So I will tell you how I've chosen my board of directors. Okay? Criteria number 1 are people that are going to step up and tell me that I am wrong. Never scared to tell me the truth, because it's only the truth that will build me. Okay? People who I have a relationship with, either in my community, so it's your church community or your community at home, your family, or your work environment. Okay? So my board of directors is constituted of very close people to me. I'm glad that my mother is there as my board of directors as well. Okay? Because she's been there from the beginning. So she is able to tell me, no, not that way. If I'm making a prayer request, guess who I make it to first? My mother. A prayer request. So I understand the role of each one of those board of directors. I told you I've got a friend she's my board member. We set goals together and we review them quarterly. We will go for lunch, clear the calendar, sit down, eat, and start to review the objectives and the goals that we set. Give each other feedback. The others are my sponsors, those that are going to speak things outside my environment. Those are going to drop things into the important ears because they understand where I want to progress to. Okay? Those people know my plan. I have spoken and shared with them my career path, my personal development plan. I have showed them that this is where I want to get to. And so I need your help. Help not because I am not shaping the future. I am doing it and putting in my level best, but at point in time when as you grow through your career, it's not about how intelligent you are. It's about who they want at that particular moment. Are you aligning yourself? So it becomes important. So those are some of them. And now some of them might be my line managers. But those that are adding value. If I see that you could be my line manager, but you're not adding value, you won't be in my board. You understand me? So those that are going to speak things that are helping you to grow and become who you want to be at that particular moment. So just look carefully. Not the yes all the time you are the star. No, those cannot be in your board of directors. Those are your operational cycle. Yeah. If you want to be strong and these people look at you and think, yes, you are there, and they don't see any other growth opportunities, those are not your board members. Those are in your operational cycle. Because according to them, you've already arrived. But according to yourself, I ain't there yet. Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Miranda.
Hi.
So lovely to see you.
Good to see you too.
I want to just say I'm very inspired and encouraged hearing your life story and seeing. By the way, I'm privileged to know this lady and all that she has. Her life
her home. It's amazing. So I've just seen the other side of you today, which is so inspiring. I wanted to talk about the part where you said you lost your father and everything kind of crumbled around you. You lost everything materially that you had, and you had to start from down there. You said something. You said you have to get back into the box and rethink how to do it well, learn to relearn certain things every day. You have an opportunity to rewrite your life story. So what can you tell people like who have gone through what you've gone through? You seem to have bounced back so powerfully, so fast that, you know, we cannot minimize your pain. Other people have gone through equal pain or more. What can you encourage someone who's seemingly lost everything and then a situation where they're struggling, they're trying to see how can they now come out, build their life and be somewhere? Because I'm sure if your father was alive today, you'd be very proud that after what happened after he went, you are somewhere different now. How did you achieve it, and how can others who are in pain achieve it too?
Okay, thank you so much. It's such a difficult one, because others are strong-willed characters. And I look at myself and I thank God that I'm kind of like strong-willed, okay? I won't want to remain where I am. So you need to know your character as well, okay? And then for others, like I mentioned to you, I had never known at any particular point that people talk because of different challenges and the difficulties that they faced. Until I was in that situation where I am young, but I am walking and talking. I'm talking to my God. So I realized from a young age that I can call upon God to help me come out of the environment that I am in. It's understanding that is very strong. But if you're faced with a similar challenge and may not be as strong, who is that one person that you think you can sit down with to talk to and can help you come out of that situation? So remember, this is why we're talking about board directors and all those, because those are people you will cry on their shoulders and they are able to lift you up. But I don't believe that you can be in such a situation forever. No. So it's understanding, and it's really about you, the individual, who you are and what you want at the end of the day. I tell you that I have my siblings, and you're very right, because when you look at me and you look at my siblings, we're two different characters. I told you that my siblings rebelled to an extent where they quit on school. Okay? Different characters, brought up in the same home, same father, same mother. Their father died the moment my father died. But it takes that courage to understand you and to step up.
That's talking about my story.
You understand me? So it takes a lot of prayer also. Yeah. I think your connection with God helps a lot. Yeah.
At this juncture, Mrs. Chilufya.
I'd like to ask for those of us that are not married, how do you think you pick out the right spouse?
Wow.
So you don't make a mistake. You have a beautiful family, 2 children. So we too, we want to have a beautiful family. What do we do to choose the right spouse so we don't truncate our destiny? What do you think?
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I think to my younger folks, say my millennials, okay, you're looking for a spouse. I'll tell you my everyday story. I've kept children in my home, and some of them I've married them off. I could be young, but I've married off quite a number of people in my home. And right now, I'm at a point where I'm telling my 21-year-old niece to say, as you go to college or to university, look out for your spouse, okay? Don't just go and do your paperwork and come out, because by the time you're finishing school at 25, 26 years old, the men of your youth have gone also. You understand me? And that's reality of life. And I always tell my niece to say, okay, can you try and get somebody from a church? Okay? Because I can only encourage and speak that which they can respect or respond to. And so I talk to my niece like that, and they laugh at me. And I say it's very real. But coming to myself, I must say for sure I knew that I did not want a man that drank or smoked. That was my priority number one. So when I went searching for a spouse, first thing was, you are not drinking and you are not smoking. I also knew the level of responsibility I had coming from home, and therefore I was looking for a spouse that would be maybe 10 years older than me, because then they would understand and be able to be receptive. And so that became number two. And so I married somebody much older than me, because for specific reasons, I'm sure he will learn after watching this that I...
So you have to be strategic.
So you understand me? And then I was not one that was very tied to say, marry from my faith, but I was looking for a Christian. And so I got a Christian husband. Okay? But I thank God that today he comes to church, to my church with me. Okay? So I will tell you that be very clear what you want. Don't live in a bubble. Life is not about bubbly things that you see. It's about understanding yourself and how you're going to interact with the people that you come across in life, because they're going to influence your everyday life. To have a career that is a prosperous one, you need to have a solid home, a backbone that is there to help you and push you as things are happening, because things can get very sour. And if you get back home to a home that is not a happy home, then you find it's difficult to step up. So always remember that when you're looking for a spouse, know yourself and understand who you're looking for, and you will be able to find them. There are plenty that suit your criteria. There are plenty. Thank you.